यूनिवर्सिटी छोड़ के आए हैं क्योंकि हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में हमारे वाइस चांसलर हमारी बात नहीं सुन रहे हैं और ये सब अब अपनी मनमानी हम नहीं कराने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। हम पार्लियामेंट के पास आए हैं ये कहने की कि जेएनयू में आज संविधान का पूरा से पूरा हनन हो रहा है। The Constitution is being murdered in JNU today. 2 acts of Parliament have been grossly attacked. Every procedure possible has been violated, all with the intention that of something that began last year to shut down JNU. Just this time last year we were here again speaking of what was important to every citizen. The right freedom of speech and expression, the freedom to question, the freedom to think. We are here again today for those very same things. But right now, we are being attacked from within. We are being attacked about the right to study, about the right to come to university. I will very briefly set out what the agenda is, what our issues are, because there are members of parliament here, and we expect that they will take our voice and our protest to the rest of parliament. We shall also be submitting a memorandum to the Lok Sabha Speaker, and we want everybody to go and speak to the local MPs and say that what has been set in motion today by the 2016 regulations is going to not only keep students out of universities, it is going to push students who are inside universities out. And as teachers who build the teachers for the next generation, JNU teachers and all progressive teachers will not stand for it. We want to teach, students want to study, and you can't stop this. The first act that is being violated, जिसका एक तरीके से कत्ल हो रहा है, वो हमारा जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी एक्ट है। जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी एक्ट की जो फर्स्ट शेड्यूल है, उसमें हमें एक पर्टिकुलर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी गई है इस यूनिवर्सिटी का जब कायम हुई। उसमें ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी कि यू मस्ट एंश्योर दैट पीपल फ्रॉम ऑल रीजन्स ऑफ इंडिया, all backward and socially deprived regions and people should be able to study in this university. Now when that act, which is a beautiful act and everybody in JNU should read it, when that act gave this express objective of forming JNU, the JNU community, which was just a handful of teachers and a handful of students to begin with, so then we will devise an admission policy that will bring this act into reality. That we will ensure that across India, the entrance examination of the university will be held, that there will be enough seats in this university so that people from all parts of India can come, that we will have deprivation points to ensure that we will give affirmative support to those who cannot manage it, and also importantly, we will keep fees down. 50 years later, this act is still an act of parliament. It also laid down very specific responsibilities. It said that the academic council is the body which is responsible for everything academic in the university. It is the one to decide on admission policy. It is the one to decide on who can sit on selection committees as experts, the panel of experts, and the whole process of JNU and how it is to be governed in a consultative democratic manner is laid down in that act. What we have been seeing in our university from particularly the 26th of January is that the academic council has been essentially completely bypassed. Its proceedings have been perverted, and 2 terrible decisions were taken in the 142nd Academic Council, whereby despite the fact that these UGC regulations had not been discussed in any section of the university, either centers or schools or SFCs or these UGC regulations were adopted by an ardent slave of this government. And what do these regulations say? These regulations, in effect, change the entrance examination pattern of our university. And in the initial month, we were told that we can no longer have our deprivation points. We were told that there was going to be the constitutionally mandated conditions of reservation did not hold. We were told all these things. Of course, because of our sustained opposition, we managed to at least, notionally at least on a piece of paper, get those things back. But the core of the UGC regulations, which is that there is going to be a limitation, a cap, on the number of students a supervisor can guide, is going to have been imposed upon us. And by those limitations, a faculty member who is a professor can have only 8 PhD students maximum and 5 MPhil students. A associate professor, which is can only have 6 PhD students and 3 MPhil students. And an assistant professor, who are most often the most loved people in departments, and everybody wants to work with them, they can only have 1 MPhil and 4 PhDs. Now what does this mean? This means that if your department is small, then you can't possibly, if you've got 4 students, they will last for 6 years, and therefore you can take no other admission per the faculty member. It also means that the number of seats that in a university, which are going to be obviously tremendously reduced, it means that the JNU Act first schedule, which is to ensure that people from all over India, besides reservation, with all socially backward categories and regions, that their percentage in the university is going to come to next to nothing. As we know, this act, this provision, was first also proposed by the UGC in 2009. JNU faculty discussed this in the academic council and said this cannot apply to us because we are an integrated MPhil PhD program. If you are going to restrict the number of MPhils, then you cannot possibly have more PhD students. But also, very importantly, and this is the second reason why we have come to Parliament, is that there exists another Act of Parliament, which is from 2006, which when the OBC reservations were implemented, said that hereafter, the intake of every central government institution must be fixed at 54% over the 2006 level, and this cannot be reduced. Which means that the intake of JNU cannot be cut. Now, it is only in our university where we have a vice-chancellor who is very mindful of the law and is persistently declaring somebody or the other unlawful. It is only this vice-chancellor who thinks that the UGC regulations are above the Constitution of India. They are above acts of Parliament. That is impossible. And today, because you cannot expect justice from people who do fraud, who falsify academic council minutes, that you do not expect them to know that it is bad in law to retrospectively apply any rule. And today a vice-chancellor who always appeals when we leave the university and assures us that he will meet us when we are leaving the university, but when we are in the university he never meets us, that vice-chancellor said that I'm sorry, the UGC regulations 2016 will apply retrospectively for the last 5 years. What this means for our university is that students who are provisional PhD students and who have suddenly, whose supervisors are now considered to be housing colonies and have vacancies, right? Their supervisors, if the vacancies have been taken up, those provisional PhD students will not be given a PhD degree. We have seen from universities across the country how students have been given to desperate acts because their fellowships have been stopped, because they have been denied supervisors. You all know which, one university where we have seen terrible pain. In the last year, 6 such students, all of them did not have supervisors. Well, we care not only for life and liberty, we care not only for the freedom to express dissent. We also care deeply as teachers for the freedom to know, the right to be educated. These are fundamental rights which whatever administration wants, whatever administration comes, but if they seek to take it away from the citizens of India who happen to be our students, we will not stand for it. So my appeal to all the people gathered here, and particularly the members of parliament, that please do concentrate on the fact that 2 acts of parliament have been destroyed in Jawaharlal Nehru University. It is being misgoverned. And the UGC, with UGC Regulations 2016, which across India will ensure that there is a reduction in seats in every university, that regulation must be struck down. If knowledge, if the guarantees of the citizens of India that we have promised to ourselves in our constitution are to be met. Thank you, and I would request now Pradeep to conduct the meeting.